What's good, everybody? Welcome into Early Edge Live as we count down over the course of the next hour to Thursday Night Football. It's hard to believe, but week 4 of the NFL season is already here. Tonight, it's all about the Jags and the Bengals. Cincinnati is 7.5-point favorite, the total sitting at 46. We're going to break it down every which way that we possibly can. But a little bit of housekeeping before we get to that, because we have a lot of things that we're going to do in the next hour. You guys have a chance to help us make history. One of the hardest things to do is build a YouTube page, to build a YouTube following, and you guys have made it happen. So if we hit 100 likes, we're going to give away a year-long sub. 200, you get the drill. 500 Early Edge t-shirt. But also, if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel yet, and you do, we need about 150 more to get to 15,000. So if we get there during the show, the boss has already called. I'm going to give away 5 for that remarkable. I mean, in only 8 months, 9 months, that's crazy how fast we've grown. So thank you all so very much. Now, let's bring in the stars of the show because we can't waste any more time. You know him right next to me. If you're not following him on social media, if you're not tailing his props, you're costing yourself money. Alex, what's good, my man?
What's up, Coach? Yeah, I'm excited. It's Thursday Night Football. This may not be the most exciting matchup on paper, but there's a lot of props that I like. And, yeah, I'm ready to get down to business. We've got AB here. I'm stoked.
Bro, when you say that you're stoked, I get stoked. And by the way, do you know the one place where they don't say, hey, this isn't a very exciting ticket? I mean, I can't catch this because this game on it. Where do they not say that at?
At the payout window, Coach.
You're damn right at the payout window, Alex. Boom. Now, AB, he just said he's stoked to see you. How are you, sir?
I'm stoked to see my man as well. Plus, as our boy Matty says, I'm live here in the meat locker, so you know what? We're doing great, man.
Hey, don't worry. We're working on AB getting a background. He's going to be looking sharp like me in no time. But in the meantime, he's going to be cold and shivering. All right, pound that like button. Get us to 15,000 YouTube subscribers. Also, put as many questions in the comment section as you want, and we'll get to as many as we can get to because we know there's a ton of props, and we got the best prop guy in the business on our show right here, right now. So I'll write down as many as I can. Also, it's very, very cool in our algorithm for you guys to be interactive. So our first poll question today is, do you think it will be Cincinnati tonight covering, or do you think Jacksonville? Write 1 for Cincinnati, 2 for Jacksonville, on who you think will cover tonight in Thursday Night Football. Just put it in the comment section. All right, guys, I got some NFL news and notes before we get into the game tonight that I think are pretty cool that we try to say that the show is also about fandom and picks, and that's what we are. But today, the NFL did one that I never thought they could do. They announced the halftime show for the Super Bowl looks a little something like this. Dr. Dre and friends. But then when you see who the friends are, my goodness, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem with Dr. Dre. Alex, this feels like it's right up your alley. Your thoughts on the halftime of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I love it, Coach. I think that's probably the best lineup on paper at the Super Bowl I've seen for a halftime show. I'm really hoping we get some original songs from the Chronic from 2000. So that's what I'm hoping for. It sounds like they've got the lineup to do it. So, yeah, I'm excited, fellas.
Never thought I would hear the Chronic on one of our shows, but it just happened. AB, your thoughts on the NFL pulling off the impossible? What's this?
The impossible, right? I think LA got right what Atlanta got wrong. And I'll say this. When you talk about Dr. Dre and friends, the only friend group that's stronger than that is when you, Maestro, and M Squared show up, right? Like, other than that, I mean, that's a pretty strong group. But no, I think that they nailed it. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that we can take the show to on site because I live 50 miles away from the stadium. So, I mean, I can be there in an hour, and we can do it, and we can put the guys on the show. We'll put Dr. Dre on the show. So if they call us, we'll let them in. There you go. Coach, oh, yes, Jacob.
I have to hop in because they have Snoop Dogg on the Super Bowl halftime show, and I just have to tell everyone about the best video on YouTube, which is whenever Snoop Dogg did the halftime or like in between periods at the NHL All-Star game, and someone was very lax on the mute button for the broadcast. And so if you have the time, just go look that up. I have to tell people about that because that might be my favorite Snoop Dogg moment ever.
Okay, go look it up.
I can't repeat anything. I can't repeat anything.
I understand. But if anybody knows about the mute button, you work with Matty Severance every single day, so it would be you. It would be you. So there you go. All right, keep pounding that like button. The jeweler's all over it. As soon as we get to 100, we'll give away our first year-long sub, and we've been killing it. All you guys have been sending us all your notes, which has been amazing. How much you love SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting. Another NFL news and notes today. Guys, Tom Brady said, and I quote, they know that I want to kick their butt this week. Is that a complete under-exaggeration of how Tom Brady really feels? And we've been talking about it for the game this week. They're only given 6.5. AB, I think they named their score this week. What say you?
Absolutely, they named their score. And, when you see these games like this, it's not generally the Tom Brady player. It's his teammates around him that want to show out for him. So you're going to look at a Tampa Bay team that's much more crisp. Their defense is going to be just a little more aggressive for them, and they're going to come out firing. Number 2, remember, this is Gronk's return as well. I know he's got some injury issues here, but he's returning back up there. And 3, remember this. Do not think for 1 second that this will not be a home game for Tom Brady. He built that stadium. He built that team. That city is his. Understand that. When he is going on a tear at the end, they're not booing him. They're cheering the man. So just remember that.
Alex, I feel like fans are angry at Bill Belichick because he allowed Tom Brady to leave. And then the team that was left behind is mediocre at best. Is this going to be a Tom Brady pro crowd on Sunday night?
Yeah, I mean, it just has to be. I mean, the guy has been, arguably the greatest athlete of his generation, probably of my lifetime, the most winningest player, most winningest quarterback in NFL history, every accolade you can imagine. There's also no shortage of motivation for him. I feel like, the guy's career has been built on, being motivated, chalkboard type material. He gets up for all these spots. I think an underrated storyline that really hasn't been spoken about is that this isn't only a revenge game for Brady or Gronk. This is also Antonio Brown returning to New England.
Oh, of course. His 15 minutes that he spent in New England, very, very important. Very important to this storyline. Oh, yeah. My goodness. Oh, gosh. I can't wait for this, and I can't wait to see what the line closes at because I've already played it at 6.5, so I don't care how high it goes. But I think it's going to be a 15 to 20-point game.
We're seeing, Coach, for what we're seeing already, it is going to be the most bet regular season game in NFL history.
Wow. You're kidding. Nope. You're kidding.
Books are like every single book literally is already reporting that they have so many tickets already in on this game. Yeah.
Can you keep track of that for me for our Sunday show, if you don't mind, please?
Yep.
I really want to know what that closes out come Sunday, either for the early show or for the late show. One other nugget that could affect the betting lines this weekend. Lamar Jackson, according to his offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, says that he's dealing with a back issue. Not practicing, but he should be okay for this weekend against Denver. AB, let's start with you. How much do you think this may or may not affect the line if we just don't know how healthy Lamar Jackson is?
Well, it'll certainly affect the line, but I'll say this. Remember, he didn't practice a day or two last week as well. Now, it's not that the Ravens looked great in their win, but it does get to a point where teams will allow quarterbacks or star players to take a day off. So we don't know yet if this falls in that category or he really is kind of injured category. We've noticed that the line hasn't moved. So, I mean, there's that, right? But it's something because if he can't go, I don't know who else you're looking at here.
I think it goes from that 1.5 to probably 5 the other way. I mean, I think it's going to be that big of a difference. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm really interested to see it. I think this is a really stiff test for Baltimore, but obviously Denver on the other side have gotten off to a 3-0 start. This is the first really legitimate, viable opponent that they're playing. So yeah, I've got a lot of attention on this game. I think Denver's for real personally. I think they're going to come out and prove it whether Lamar plays or not. So yeah, I'm really excited about this game.
All right, well, we'll keep our eyes on it. And, of course, it will affect our prop show, which will be Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time in your feed. Subscribe to that YouTube channel right here, right now, because we have been killing it. Now, you guys, you listen so well now. I've got you trained, and I love you for it. We are already over 200 likes this early into the show, about 15 minutes in. So I've got 3 names. So grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here are the 3 latest members of our SportsLine family. At Mr. Guest Q, at Linnell Kells, and at dberg77. Mr. Guest Q at Linnell Kells and at dberg77. The jeweler, who you just saw. It's a rare sighting, but you just saw the jeweler live here on the show. He will reach out to you on social media and give you all of the details. And for those of you who are already SportsLine members that say, I'm not going to hit the like button, I can't win. Yes, you can. Because if you win the drawing, then you get an upgraded version to your SportsLine membership. So please, and if nothing else, help somebody else win. Just pound that like button. All right, let's get into tonight. And I don't want to hear anybody say it's not a sexy matchup. I don't want to hear anybody say it doesn't matter. It's Thursday. It's the Jags and the Bengals. Every game matters in the world of sports betting. Every game matters to us. M Squared taught us that. And he may jump in here at some point today. He's very busy with his daily fantasy, which takes up a lot of his time. Boys, here's what the numbers look like for tonight. All right, 7.5. The number has stayed steady throughout the week. The total sitting at 46. 8 of the 9 primetime games this year have gone north of the number. Let's keep that in mind. Jags, 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. Bengals, 2-1 straight up, 2-1 against the spread. Now, when you look at the fact that the Jags, AB, will start with you, give up 9 yards per attempt, it just screams that Joe Burrow should have a big game tonight, does it not?
Absolutely. Yeah, Joe Burrow is going to have a big game. And couple that with they really haven't opened him up either this year. We haven't seen the Bengals really let him loose. And this is a guy who was let loose, every game he was in last year until his injury, right? So we've all been kind of waiting for when they're going to do it. And I think this is the perfect team to do it against. So, yeah, on the Bengals side, you're absolutely going to get Joe Burrow firing from beginning to end. The question is, and the books are telling on themselves, because look at the numbers. Do the Jaguars get 3 touchdowns? Like that's the question. Mm-hmm. I think their other team totals 18.5, somewhere around there. Like Everyone feels good at where the Bengals are going to be scoring wise. This game all comes down to the Jaguars, and do they get 3 touchdowns? Literally, if you could figure that out, you could cap this game perfectly.
There's a couple of numbers that we'll get to when we talk props when it comes to Joe Burrow and his pass attempts that I find very, very interesting based off of what they've done the first 3 weeks. We'll get to that. But, Alex, let's come back to you. When you look at where the numbers are right now and how the two teams have played, do you think the numbers have been stuck in the right places?
Yeah, I do, Coach. I tend to look under in this game quite a bit. I think the perception of both of these teams is not necessarily accurate. I think the Bengals defensive unit is actually the strongest side of the football. That defense is underrated. I believe they're ranked 7th in total defense. PFF has them, I think, as high as 6th overall. So, yeah, the defense has played really well. The run D has played really well. They've been stout. So, yeah, I think both teams are going to rely on their run games. I think they're going to run the ball a lot, and I expect a low-scoring game. And, yeah, I think the number accurately reflects the disparity between the two teams, but at the same time, I'm not quite sure that the Bengals are 7.5-point favorites over any team in the NFL. So
I think when you talk about recency bias, and the Bengals go on the road, they win by 14 against a Pittsburgh team that, quite frankly, guys, I think is just overrated. I think that we get caught up in Big Ben still being on the field, even though he's average to below average as a quarterback right now. And I think that, Alex, is why it's 7.5, because of what they did last week, not necessarily because they are 7.5-point favorites. And they play to the public, and the public loves this. And as AB said, a lot of the money is coming in on Cincinnati, and I think exactly to what you believe, correct?
Yes. I also have gone and watched the Bengals. I've watched the Jaguars play every game. I've had the misfortune of that. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. I think there's a lot of things you can do that are more productive with your time, but I've watched every single snap that Jacksonville has played, and yes, they're bad. Yes, they're a mess, but they've shown signs, especially last week, of actually being a competent NFL offense. They finally unleashed James Robinson, which we're going to touch on later because he has one of my favorite props of the night. And yeah, I think that the Jaguars are better than people think. I think that Trevor Lawrence is making strides. And yeah, I think this is actually going to be a competitive game.
Stop talking. Just stop talking. Because for the first time in my career, I'm getting ready to say something. What the hell is your cat doing behind you? Your cat literally just went and he's just chilling. She's just chilling. That's so funny. You and the jeweler have something in common. Jeweler's cat likes to walk on the keyboard, and then we just go down sometimes. The production goes. So is your cat that into the production? Does he like the show?
She's like my parrot cat. Like anytime I'm nearby, she has to be within like a 3-foot vicinity just to make sure that everything's okay. And she's a little watch cat.
We're here for it, brother. We've got Chief with M squared. We've got Jeweler, and now you. Pretty soon, AB's going to pull an iguana out of his pocket. That is so great. That is so great. What's her name, by the way?
Margot.
All right, we're gonna have to come up with a Margot prop of the show just in honor of your cat. So I'll figure that out. But she's welcome any time. Now there is a nugget. The Jags have lost 18 games in a row. If you'd like to play the money line on the Bengals just to win the game, it's minus 352. Do we like that number? AB, would you lay 352?
No, I wouldn't, because you know what? I'll say this. I have oddly a large amount of friends that are from the Southern Ohio area, Northern Kentucky, right? They're Bengals fans. And all of them all day have been saying the same thing. They're like, this is the most Bengals game that we lose. This is the most Bengals game that we lose. I'm telling you, like, they've all been saying it, right? And understand this. Sportsbooks don't always put out a number of where they think the game is going to be. Sometimes they put it to get action on one side. Other times they do it just to mess with you. And I swear, I think this is one of those games where they said, look, the Jaguars have lost all 3 games by double digits this year. We're going to place it right over 7 with the hook. And let's just see what you got. Do you want to bet them or not? Right? Like, that's how it feels. So if you could figure out what the Jaguars do tonight, you could cap this game, but it is not easy to do because their best player, Trevor Lawrence, who is getting better, buddy, he those picks, man. Like, this team will turn it over fast on you. And this Bengals team, like this defense that Prop Stars was just talking about, they're good. The defense is good. This is not like Joe Burrow putting up 50 points at LSU. This defense is legit.
Now, there's a lot of people in the comment section. I just want to just slow the roll because when I was in my 20s and I didn't have the best cappers in the world to work with, I felt the same way you guys did. Oh, guys, this way. It's this way. It's this way. It's this way. Let's not forget, in the NFL, it is never exactly what it seems. Ravens, what they do last week, everybody said the Lions couldn't stay within 8 points. What happened? Late field goal, right? Other games where teams have stayed close. 7.5 on a primetime game is a lot of points. So relax on they're losing by an average of 13. Tonight's different. They still might get killed, but it's just different. It's just different. So be very careful of just saying this is what it is. All right. Now let's remember what we're trying to accomplish here on the show. We're all trying to win the tickets, but also we're trying to change people's lives. So we've already got to 200. We need 28 more likes to get to 300. We got plenty of people watching the show. Hit that like button one time, and let's give away 3 more. Also, we get to 15,000 YouTube subscribers. I'm going to give away five subs to SportsLine because I can't believe we're at that number already. And it's all because of all of you. All of you, we love you, and we're all winning together. All right, let's get back to the game now. Now, teasers have been something we really kind of tried to introduce, guys, the last couple of weeks because we have a lot of new viewers, a lot of new bettors that are trying to figure out the best ways to do it. Now, M Squared is usually always has a teaser that he loves. But if we tease this down and we tease the over up to 52 and the Bengals down to 1.5, would that make you guys feel comfortable with that teaser? Alex, let's start with you.
Yeah, if I were forced to choose a teaser, it would be looking at the under in the game. So yeah, like you said, putting the total up to 52 and then having the Cincinnati at 1.5 points. Yeah, if I were going to play the spread or the money line or the total in this game, that would probably be my first choice.
AB?
I'm with you on the Bengals part. I would take the total down and bet the over. Like, I feel way more comfortable with that because I do think that this game is going to be pretty good. I think that both offenses are going to be putting the ball in the air. And when you have one team who's can go banana land at any time, like, it leaves the other team in really good field position, right? So I feel comfortable on the Bengals part. Obviously, I would take it down and bet the over.
Okay, that's kind of how I would lean too. So the jeweler is really starting to feel himself right now. So he said if we get to 400 likes, because we're at 343 right now, and I know I owe some subs out. He said we will bet a teaser that we all agree to on the show. So we'll bet that live on the show. Because people ask me all the time, do you guys really put in your bets when you say you're putting your bets in? 100% of the time. We've got our accounts open, and we do it live here on the show. There is not a show that has more transparency than what we do every single time. So let's get to 400 likes, and we'll bet a teaser on the show that we all agree on. All right? Now, our second question. Do you think the game's going to go over as we talk about the total? Over 46 or under? Give me 1 for over and give 2 in the comment section for the under as we continue to kind of get a feel for what you guys are feeling at home as we try to be as interactive as possible. We're going to get to the props very, very quickly. But let's talk about that total, guys, for a second, and the spread, because I haven't really asked you guys whether you like this number or not. I'll be completely transparent. I bet the Jags this morning before it came down to 7. I was afraid it was going to come down to 7, so I bet the Jags. I'm going to stick with it. I put a little sprinkle on the over 46 simply because 8 out of 9 primetime games have gone over the over, but I respect what Alex said about he expects a low-scoring game. Does anybody agree with my 2 bets? The Jags, the over just a little bit. AB?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I this is a weird number, and you getting in before it dropped down to 7, very smart play there. There's nothing that I would argue on it. Yep, I'm with you.
I feel very uncomfortable when you agree with me. I don't know if I like that.
I know. Right?
Alex, what say you?
So I definitely like the Jag side. I think 7.5 is just too many points. I don't think, like I mentioned earlier, I don't think the Bengals are 7.5 points better than any team in the NFL, especially on a short week, especially on a game that just screams trap, especially when they've gotten off to a good start. And like AB mentioned, this would be the most Cincinnati game to possibly lose versus this team on Thursday night in a primetime spot. Furthermore, though, I think it's worth noting Joe Burrow does not look like Joe Burrow from last season. He has not attempted more than 30 passes in one game last year. I think all but one start of his 11 starts, he was over that number. He's not throwing the ball a lot. He looks like he is coming along slowly from his ACL injury. As a result, Joe Mixon has 67 rushing attempts. They are pounding the ball. They are feeding Joe Mixon. They are relying on the running game, and they are taking the ball out of Burrow's hands, which is what I think they're going to continue to do tonight versus a poor Jacksonville run defense, and that's why I'm personally leaning under in this game.
I feel like a proud father right now because I would love for you, Alex, go back and watch yourself on day 1 and see where you are today. It's amazing how you've come out of your shell and become such an incredibly important part of what we do. You really are, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm sorry. No, you may not jump in. I was getting ready to say something. No, go ahead. What do you got?
Can anyone name me the coach that originally recruited Joe Burrow to his first college, Ohio State?
Urban Meyer. Ding, 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 ding.
Does he know? Like, I feel that he knows a little bit about Joe Burrow.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. By the way, YouTube comment, first one we're going to get to. Brandon said in the comments, somebody needs to check on Coach to see if I really bet an under. AB, I want you to make it very clear that when I say I hate unders, is it all for show? Is it all for show?
No, it's not for show. And anybody that wants to question it, go to Twitter right now, and you'll see in all caps Coach screaming at a stat that I had about unders. Like, it is not for show at all. That is 100% true.
Oh my God, I hate it with every piece of my being. Everyone. But AB and Allie always prove me wrong because they're just they're absolutely killing it right now in their respective unders. All right, I got my 3 winners coming up from SportsLine. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. We're at 385 now, so let's get to 400 quickly. At Biznary, at Spiderman_1722, and at Ram_Bam_sports. That might be the worst handle I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of bad ones. But you're part of the family, so I can't tease you anymore. Welcome. The jeweler will reach out to you on social media. If he doesn't, send me a note. I'll take care of him for you. All right, now let's get to the most important part of the show, and the part of the show where Alex literally sometimes jumps out of his chair. And we're talking about props, baby, because there's a lot of numbers tonight as we get close to the bottom of the hour that we got to get to. Because let's be honest with you, we can sit here and argue about the total and the spread all we want, but we're going to make our money on props. we're going to make our money on props. So if you have a question on a prop, put it in the comment section, and we'll get to as many numbers as you can. And I tell you, you can throw my guys anything, and they will have an answer for you. So let's start with the guy that I believe the number Chase's number in there. You know what? We'll get back to Chase in a second. Trevor Lawrence, total passing yards, 253.5. Joe Burrow, 252.5. That seems to be a very popular pick tonight because we just don't know what the game plan is going to be. Would this be something we'd bet, or AB, do we stay away?
Bet it. Absolutely. I like both. I think that we do have a really good game tonight. I think it's going to be fun. To have a good game in the NFL, you don't have to have the two best teams in the league. You just have to have two equal teams. And I think that we somewhat have two equal teams in weird ways here. Yeah, I'm going over on both.
Okay. Jamar Chase, his receiving prop, and I know that we played it in the show, I believe. Well, I look it up. Do you like the Jamar Chase, Alex, receiving prop?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the present number is. I want to say open at 59.5. I believe it's gone up since then. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah,
69.5.
69.5. Yeah, it's gone up 10 yards since it opened. But yeah, I at that number, I'm personally staying away. Obviously, it's gone up a lot over the course of the last few days since the line came out. Yeah, he's shown great chemistry with his former college teammate after like a really tumultuous preseason, offseason. All the reports were somewhat negative, and we kind of, there was an early bust label before the guy even played a snap in the NFL, which personally blew my mind. But yeah, he's been as good, if not better, than advertised. I've been really high on him. Yeah, he's an explosive weapon down the field. One prop that I have seen quite a few people on that correlates to that number is his longest reception. I want to say it's at 23.5 yards, and I believe he has gone over that in all three games so far. No T. Higgins in the offense. And, yeah, the Jaguars have given up a ton of big plays in the passing game. So, yeah, more so than the yards, I like Chase's longest reception. If you can get it around 22.5, 23.5.
Okay, very good. It looks like Chase has gone all the way up to 76.5 at DraftKings. My goodness, that is high. All right, what about Tyler Boyd? That number is at 65.5. We gave it out on the show this morning. I believe the Maestro gave that out. And he did, and it was at 59.5 then. And what is it up to now? If you can find that while we discuss it. Tyler Boyd is a very popular play. Do we like his receiving prop tonight?
I do. Personally, though, I'm looking more catches when it comes to Boyd. I think that kind of has a higher floor and is a little bit of a safer prop when you're looking at him. He serves as a safety blanket for Burrow, and he's running a lot of high percentage underneath routes close to the line of scrimmage. The Bengals don't also have a viable receiving tight end, so he's getting all of those targets that are, like I mentioned, high percentage targets near the line of scrimmage. So yeah, it would not surprise me whatsoever to see him finish with a receiving line like 6 catches for 55 yards, 7 catches for 58 yards. So yeah, I'm personally looking more at his catch total, which is 5.5, than I am at his yards total. Where there he got it though at 59. I do like that, but yeah, I believe it has gone up a little bit since then. So I'm leaning towards catches.
Okay. I know we try to look at several different books to give you guys a good idea of the number. I know Noah in the comments said 63.5, I believe, at DraftKings. I have it at 61.5, so it's in that 59 to 65 number. And it's always amazing at how close they come sometimes to getting exactly the right number. Keep pounding that like button. We're in our prop portion of the program that you guys love so much. I love getting in 5 or 6 or 7 different props during the game because it takes the pressure off of getting the spread right or getting the total right. I absolutely love it. Keep them coming in the comment section, and I'll throw out another one, guys. We're waiting for another one. Joe Mixon. All right, last week, 18 rushes, 90 yards, 1 catch for 4 yards. The reason I bring that up is that his rushing yard total is 87.5. His receiving yard number is 17.5. AB, you want to start the discussion?
Yeah, he's going to be a popular pick tonight. Popular pick. And I see why. I like the receiving more than the rushing. And I could be wrong here, but I like that receiving number.
See, I hate that you say that because I already bet the under on that earlier today.
Yeah.
It could be one out of the backfield and he shoots up. I get that. But if they're not even targeting him, like one time last week against a team that's a really good defense and you're not looking at your running back? I just think they wouldn't target him tonight too. Alex, your thoughts on Joe Mixon and either one of those numbers?
Yeah, so I think Mixon is going to be heavily involved in the game plan. I think they're going to lean on him like they have been all season. I think they're going to kind of run clock. And, yeah, I think his rushing attempts is appealing. I think that opened at 18.5. I believe it's 20.5 now at most books. I wouldn't touch it at 20.5. I'd consider it if you can find it at 19.5. I do think he ends up with 20-plus carries, especially if it's a positive game script. As far as his receiving is concerned, he hasn't had big receiving work really this season, and he's getting so many carries. I mean, he's just dominating the Bengals backfield snaps. So he is not really coming off the field, but they're not really targeting him. And in the receiving game, I don't expect them to be playing from behind and getting a lot of targets. So something actually that I like more than his receiving is his receptions, I believe, is set at 2.5. And I believe it's plus money to bet his under 2.5 receptions. I think it's unlikely he has 3 catches tonight. So out of all of Mixon's props, I would have said 18.5 rushing attempts, but because that number is at 25 or 20.5 now, I'm staying away. Out of all of Mixon's props that you can currently get, I like under 2.5 catches.
And I just played it, baby. Boom! Just played it. Thank you to Pop Stars. Now, interesting. I know we're always having people drop in and watch part of the show and drop out. So Abel just asked about the longest reception by Jamar Chase. So Abel, you just came in. Prop Stars says it's over 23.5. All 3 games so far, he's had one over that. So bet it for what you will. But great nugget, all 3 games, at least one reception over 23.5 yards. I love live betting on the show. I love it more than anything. All right, keep them coming in the comment section. By the way, I can't believe I didn't think of this myself, but Noah had to remind me. AB, you went directly against me. Now, you didn't know when you started that you were going directly against me, but I feel like a SportsLine showdown bet is necessary here for Joe Mixon and his receiving yardage. Yeah, I mean, Alex is shaking his head. He's a man who just beat R.J. White. He wants to see it. So, AB, I'm publicly calling you out. I'll take the over. No, I'm taking the under. You got the over for our normal SportsLine showdown price.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely in on that. First off, Alex, I was taking notes on everything you were writing, so thanks for having my back there. Appreciate you, buddy. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, Coach, I am taking notes on what you're saying, by the way. It's fantastic. Yeah, Coach, I'm absolutely in. Yeah, do it.
All right.
I love it.
I love our SportsLine showdown.
We got to sweat.
Except I always seem to win the smaller ones, and then I bet M squared. He always suckers me into raising that price, and I just get banged hard every damn time. But I'll come back for more.
When M squared, when he starts raising the price like slowly in the negotiation, that's when you know you're in trouble. You just know you're in trouble.
Goodness. I have to call my accountant. Yes, sir. I approve of that. I approve of that. Oh damn. M squared. Okay, so my sportsbook closed on me as I was talking trash with you idiots. Hit the like. We need to hit 500. Thank you, Faustino. We hired Faustino to be our resident bang the like button drum guy. So let's get to 500. We can do it on each and every show and change so many different lives. I don't care if the bosses get angry. Don't care. What does Noah say? M Scared has been doing that to follow team members for years. He said everyone at SportsLine like that. Well, thank you. I didn't know that. Now I know. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop betting him, but now at least I know that.
You know what the best part, Coach, about this is? And credit to everyone in the chat. We just got you to bet an under against me.
Oh, my God. I cannot even believe that I just did that.
Shout out the chat. They figured it out. I was reading it, and I was like, they are correct. They're absolutely correct.
Oh my God. I'm such an idiot. I am such an idiot. I'm your idiot though. So Mike, I cannot believe that I just did that.
I love it.
How did you? Oh my goodness.
That's the power of M squared. He doesn't have to be on this show, and he just negotiates people into bets. Like, that's how good the guy is.
Oh, my God. All right. Let's keep him coming. Any of you guys have any more props out there that you like? I guess I didn't even ask you guys. the props that you like on the show tonight. So, Alex, are there some that you're looking at tonight? I apologize. I didn't even ask you yet.
Yeah, no worries, Coach. Yeah, there's two that I like. One is a SportsLine special. I have not given this out anywhere. So we'll get to that one. The first one that I like, and my official play from this game, is Marvin Jones under 67.5 receiving yards. I found this at PointsBet. His number has kind of been all over the place on multiple books. I played this down to 64.5. If you can't find it at 64.5 or above, I would avoid it. But yeah, just to give you some feedback on the play. Marvin Jones has been the most targeted receiver on the Jags, having gotten 28 targets and turned them into 194 yards through the first 3 games for an average of 64 receiving yards per game. He's only gone over this total once out of the 3 games, and that was against Houston's just miserable secondary in week 1. I think he's due for some regression in targets as this game, I mentioned earlier, projects. I think it'll personally be low scoring. I think it's going to be competitive, like AB mentioned. I also think the Jags are going to look to establish the run, which correlates with another prop that I'm on that I'm going to get to in a minute. The Bengals D has been good this year. They've only allowed one receiver in the last 2 games to go over 67.5 yards. According to PFF, the Bengals rank 7th in total defense. This is just quietly a really good defensive unit. And the main reason the Bengals are 2-1 is not because of Joe Burrow. It's because of this defense. They've allowed the 6th fewest points in the league. I also believe that Laviska Shenault and DJ Chark are going to be more involved in the passing game. They both had double-digit targets in week 1. The last 2 games, they've had barely any targets. So, yeah, I'm expecting Shenault and DJ Chark to have a bigger target share, which is going to take away from Marvin Jones' target share. And, yeah, furthermore, Trevor Lawrence has struggled the last 2 weeks. He only put up big numbers in that first game against the Texans. Over the last 2 weeks, he's 36 for 67, a 53% completion percentage, and he's only thrown 168 passing yards per game over the past 2 games. So I just think Urban Meyer is going to lean on the run game. It's been very effective this season, and it correlates with the only other prop that I'm on in this game, which is James Robinson's over 11.5 rushing attempts. I got this out. I put it out twice, actually. It opened at 11.5. I put a play on it. It immediately dipped down to 10.5. It hung out there for like a few minutes. I put another half unit on it there.
This is unbelievable.
It's now up to 12.5 rushing attempts. I still like it at 12.5 rushing attempts, not as an official play, but as a half unit play, or as Coach likes to say, a sprinkle. I like James Robinson over 12.5 rushing attempts as a sprinkle. He has been more involved in the Jags game plan every single week. His carries has increased from 5 to 11 to 15 over the last 3 weeks. His snap count and touch count has also gone up as well. While his raw counting stats, they don't jump off the table, he's actually been phenomenal this year. PFF has him as the ranked 1st overall in run grade. He's 4th in yards after contact per carry, and he's 6th in elusiveness rating. So the guy has been playing super well. Last season, J-Rob went over this total in 13 of 14 games for a 92% hit rate while averaging 17 rushing attempts per game. He's gone over in 14 of 17 career games. That's a career 82% hit rate. Urban Meyer had this to say about Robinson prior to last week. He is as advertised. As a person, he's the hardest working guy on the team. I've been working with him, and I want to get him to the second level. 3 to 4 yards of play is good, but every once in a while, you need to pop one. So to answer your question, he is as advertised, and I'm dying to get him to the second level. I spent a lot of time prior to this play looking around at Jags forums to get some more insight on this. I'm literally lurking on Jags football forums. Yes, they exist. And apparently Urban Meyer had a big disagreement with their offensive coordinator, Darrell Bevel, who was splitting Carlos Hyde and James Robinson in the first 2 weeks. He finally unleashed him in week 3. We saw the results. He got 21 touches, 134 yards, 1 TD. Meanwhile, Carlos Hyde last week only had 8 carries. Bottom line, the Jags do not want Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball 50 times per game. They actually showed flashes of being a viable NFL offense last week, and that's because they had a balanced game plan. So, yeah, I'm expecting Jacksonville to lean on the running game. I like James Robinson over 12.5 rushing attempts for a half unit or a sprinkle, like Coach likes to say.
Do you know how many rush attempts Carlos Hyde's going to have tonight? 0. And I'm trying not to state it until I can get the bet in on my book, because we know they watch the show and it's going to change as soon as because they're not going to pay attention that he's inactive. And as soon as you gave that out, we know it changes. And my book already took it down in the middle of you saying that. I'm dead serious. I can't even get that play right now. I have a tear rolling down the side of my face listening to you give all that. I mean, it is beautiful. And for the one man who got shamed out of the chat thinking that this betting thing is a coin flip, you clearly didn't listen to the last 12 minutes of Alex talking here on the show. Clearly you didn't listen, because it's anything but a coin flip. This man is next level. And sometimes I just got to let you go, brother, because you are unbelievable. So, all you guys, shut up in the comment section about me betting an under. We already went over that. I did it. I admit to it. My name's Jonathan Coachman, and I am an underaholic. All right, you wanted to hear me say it. All right. AB, are there any props that you're on tonight?
Well, he took all of them, so I mean, I'm done there. No. I was gonna say, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow cutting a promo like that. That was amazing, dude. Like, look, there are two here that I like. All right, first off, the Jaguars committing over 1.5 turnovers in this game at plus 105. I really like that play. The second one, and here's what we're gonna do. I'm not saying go put your mortgage on this play. What I'm saying is, I have a feeling of what's going to happen, and it's in the Jaguars' first drive. I think that they are going to come out super aggressive. I think they're going to come out throwing the ball probably twice deep, and you're probably looking at 3 incomplete passes. Their first drive to a punt is minus 125 right now, and here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. For anybody that will hit the subscribe button right now, I'm going to play this play. If it doesn't hit, we'll pick one person in the chat, and I will buy you a straight to the pay window t-shirt myself. No expense account, no nothing. And I'll send it out to you personally.
Wait. Repeat that whole thing, because I got to write it down. Repeat that whole thing.
So Jaguars' first drive ends in a punt at minus 125 on Caesars right now.
Okay.
And the deal is this. If anybody will go out there, everybody, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It's free. Just click it. That's all you got to do. But what we're going to do is this. If it does not hit, okay, if they do anything other than a punt, we will select one person in the chat, and I will personally buy you a straight to the pay window t-shirt. I'll hook up with you after the show, get all your info, mail it to you. I'll order it tonight.
Hey, yeah. I'm a winner in that, because I'm the one that sells the straight to the pay window t-shirts. So I win. I win no matter what. I win.
Everyone wins in this. But yeah, if it doesn't hit, everybody pay attention to that. If it doesn't hit, I'm telling you, I'll order it tonight for you.
My goodness. All right, Alex. All right, quickly, because I have a very big announcement coming up. Go ahead.
I just wanted to give AB credit. I love these props that AB looks at. He looks at like game props and non-player props. He finds some incredible value. So it's actually inspired me. I can't find enough time to look at player props, but after seeing AB give some of these plays out that are like game props and stuff, it's inspiring me to look outside of the player prop market.
Alex, we have a lot of rules here at the brand. One of them, clearly, you don't follow, and that is to never, ever compliment AB on anything that he does. Ever. Now, one man that I will compliment till the day is long. And I have a feeling he's going to have a lot to say about everything he's been watching the last couple of minutes. He's been waiting in the waiting room to come in at the right moment. M Squared, I know you got a lot to say on this game. I'm just going to sit back. I know you've been listening. Give the good people at home your take on the game and any props or anything you like for tonight. The floor is yours, sir.
All right, first, Coach, let's start with the mic. If it's messing up, give me some sort of signal, and I'll switch over to the AirPods. But if you can hear me, then life is good here. We've been fighting it all day. But first thing, I'll talk about Trevor Lawrence, the play I wanted to give this morning. I think that he's going to start running the ball just a little bit more. He's not going to want to stand in the pocket and get hit. Yes, he could take hits on the run, but I also expect this Bengals defense to be in man coverage, especially on third down. We expect a lot of third downs from this Jacksonville Jaguars offense. And you mentioned on the show this morning, he is incredibly quick. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks in NFL history in terms of that 40 time. We've seen him run in college, obviously, right? I think this is a great spot for his over. Obviously, it's moved up in the market here, but I have this number closer to 24, frankly. Yes, it's making the large assumption that the 6 rushing attempts that we saw 1 in week 1, 2 in week 2, up to 6. I think that that's going to continue. I think we're going to see a few actual designed runs and not just scrambles, but I love that. That's my favorite prop in this game. As far as which side I would lean towards the Jags. I know it's not fun. I know it's not a sexy pick at all, but I would lean towards the Jags covering the spread. I think this one tightens up more than we think. And it could be a situation where we're looking at a big backdoor cover. I do think that there's going to be some good garbage time for the Jags. So when you're looking at like over props in this game, I do like the one on Tyler Boyd just because it's mispriced in the sense that like it's available for the catches and receptions. The yardage is so low that I think it's a fine play still, and I like it, have the big over. The other one, so I would look to the Jaguars side because I think they're going to hit those in the garbage time when they're trying to come back and cover the spread here late.
Okay. Real quick, I don't know if you heard the dissertation that Alex did on Marvin Jones and James Robinson. The under on Jones's yardage 67.5, and then Robinson his rush attempts over 11.5. Now that Carlos Hyde has been inactive, do you like those 2 plays?
I do like those 2 plays. I obviously like the Robinson one a ton now that Carlos Hyde is out. That helps. I mean, even eliminating 2 touches for Carlos Hyde is a massive deal for that prop at that number that he gave it out at. So obviously we all know he's a stud. Great, absolutely great call by Alex on that one. As far as Marvin Jones, I definitely wouldn't play the over. As far as would I play the under, I don't hate it. I just really, really, really worry about the garbage time in these situations. He's just the kind of player that if nothing is going well for Trevor Lawrence, he's the kind of player that could have 4 targets on the final drive. If it's, the issue is we want this game to be 10 points. We don't want this game to be 15 points. This game's 15 points. This prop is probably in trouble just through sheer volume at the end. We want it to be a 1 to 1.5, like that 1.5 to 2 score games. I say 1.5 score. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. It does to me in my head, but we want it to be about that 10-point range. That's going to be fine. But if it gets more than that, I do not like the under on Marvin. I don't like the over. It's just one of those where I would not feel comfortable playing it.
Okay. We do have a question from Casey in the YouTube comments, and I believe she wants to know, and this can go to all 3 of you guys. If a number gets up to the point where you wouldn't play it, do you ever then bang the under if you've already played the over? I think that's a very important question that a lot of new bettors don't really understand if the answer is no. Well, why wouldn't you play the under? So what do you guys do when that happens, when it gets to a point where maybe you have 10 yards in between the over and under where it started? Alex, I'll start with you, and then anybody else can jump in.
Yeah, if there's like some really extreme movement on a play, like for instance, Cooper Kupp last week, I think opened at like 68.5 yards. And then he was up to like 90 by kickoff. In a scenario like that, you have access to multiple books. Totally makes sense to potentially middle. But yeah, I'm typically, if I'm playing an under or an over, there's a pretty kind of wide threshold where the projection is. So rarely do I find myself in a point where it's moved enough that I'm interested in playing the other side.
Very good. Mike, yeah, I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I would say for 99% of the audience, it's probably not something I would recommend. The only time where like a true like arbitrage situation like that would be advisable is if you're playing like massive unit sizes and when you're making a substantial investment, which would be a number that's not insignificant for having that action on both. I'm far more interested in middling on some of these same game parlays where I'm trying to hone in on a team's total points. So like you've seen me bet like over 14.5 for one team and also the under 33.5 for that team. I'm far more interested in middling on the team's outcome than I am on an individual player. Now, the example that Alex gave was great. This game should the news have come out even earlier, might have had a similar situation with the James Robinson as far as his rushing yards, knowing that Hyde got ruled out. If you had got Robinson on the over, say on Tuesday, it might have moved enough to the point where you could have a legitimate shot at a middle if that prop had moved 20 yards by the time kickoff was. Unfortunately, here we only have 90 minutes. There's not enough time for the market to like truly move and get hit by sharp action at this point in the game. So I don't think that it's worth it. I think that middling for our audience here, I think that it's probably going to be same game parlays and focus on middling on knocking down that team's total points in the game.
All right, so pay attention to my guys because we do it here all the time. We do teasers up and down all the time. AB, I would ask you, but I would feel like I was going back to second grade based off what I just heard. So let's just stay away from that one for you, okay?
Yeah, it's a good call.
All right, it's hard to believe we've had so much fun in this hour. We still need 19 more likes to get to that coveted 500 number. So we're going to get to our favorite part of the show. While we're doing this, if you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit it for us. You guys have been amazing all night. So many good questions, so many good props, but let's get 19 more people to hit that like button so we can give away a free Early Edge t-shirt tonight. And believe me, we've got some more stuff coming out for you in the next few days as far as merchandise is concerned because we want everybody to be a part of it. All right. Now, a couple of weeks ago, my man M Squared, just as a throwaway at the end of the show, he gave out Van Jefferson as a first touchdown of the game for the Rams at plus 4,000. And wouldn't you know it, on the first Sunday night game of the year, we banged that plus 4,000. The very next night, Sia, plus 1,200. Tyson Williams with the Ravens, bang that too. So now every single primetime game, we do the Van Jefferson Memorial first touchdown of the game sprinkle. So I've always texted my guys, you got to give me one name that you think tonight with value, which I mean over plus 1,000, could be the first touchdown scored tonight. AB, I'm going to start with you since I feel like I just neglected you on the last conversation. What do you got for us tonight?
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely in the court. No, I'm kidding. Look, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. And it sounds dumb, but I'm telling you, I think that they get a big play, get down near the 2-1 yard line, and he runs it in himself. And because he knows how important that this game is, and he wants to punch that in. I get it's a tough shot. You've got players who can hit from all over the field, and he can hit from the 2 or the 1. But I think that's how it goes down. Also, side note, our person that we're playing with tonight for the first drive punt, Thomas Marshall, put your Twitter handle in the chat. You are our person that is going to get the shirt if it doesn't happen.
Ty in the chat asked, where's the like button? So when the comments are up, you got to take the comments down for a second, hit the like button, and then bring the comments right back up. So it's hidden when you have the comments open. That's why a lot of you can't find it. So just take the comments down, hit the like button, come right back in, and keep chatting with us. All right, Alex, what do you got for us tonight on the first touchdown of the game?
Yeah, I like DJ Chark. I think Chark is due for a good game. I think he is maybe the most talented receiver on Jacksonville. He hasn't been the most productive receiver. He had a massive target share week 1, and then he hasn't really been looked at the last 2 weeks. He's just 1.5 seasons removed from 1,000-yard, 8-touchdown season. This guy's been very productive, and that was with Gardner Minshew at quarterback on the Jags. So, yeah, this guy is a good player. I think he's a good receiver. I think that his yardage prop also appeals to me. Looking over at it, it's low. It opened, I think, around 43.5. I want to say it's up to around 50 now. But, yeah, I like DJ Chark at plus 1,200. I think he's a good chance to score a touchdown or the first touchdown tonight.
Leave it to Alex to throw a little extra prop in there. Is that Chief? Is that Chief?
That's Chief.
The show's complete. The show is complete. M Squared. We have a new you missed it. We have a new mascot in addition to Chief.
I was watching. I was watching and listening.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I love her. She's great.
Fantastic.
Shout out Margot.
I feel like I need to bring my dog up right now. He lays beside me, and I've never brought him on the show. I'll bring Buddy up at the end.
We want
to
see him.
Okay, we'll bring Buddy up at the end of the show. All right, M Squared, what do you got, pal?
All right. Well, Alex definitely took the one that I was going to go on, and the reason why it's not a surprise that we're both on the Jaguars side. Anytime you get a primetime game like this that is a 7+ point spread, you're almost always going to be incentivized to take the underdog in the first touchdown. just because it's always going to be juiced in the favor of a team that's supposed to be scoring and supposed to be winning. So all the value is going to lie there. DJ Chark currently can get it still at 14-1. That's my favorite play. My second favorite play, which is going to be on the Bengals side, is going to be Auden Tate at 20-1. I think he's going to have some involvement in the red zone. So if the Jaguars are smart here, they're going to try to stop Joe Mixon. They know that they want to run the football with Joe Mixon. They should stack the box. They should make Joe Burrow throw and beat them. That's what they should do. Auden Tate, I believe he played just over 60% of snaps last week with T. Higgins out. He should be involved here as well. So that's my favorite. And then again on Chark, quickly I'll add on there because it is one that I'm playing. I think that you want to attack him on the first touchdown because this is a drive that they can have scripted and should have scripted when they're coming out in this game. And then same reason why some people like Chase Claypool last week. Again, I think we see a little bit of man coverage from the Cincy team. In man coverage, Chark is one of the best receivers on the field, right? I'm not going to say the best because obviously the Bengals receivers are very talented, but he is not far off from the talent level of those wide receivers on the Bengals side that we all love so much. So look for him. If they're in man coverage, he will get deep shots his way tonight. It's just a matter of will they connect.
Boy, so many great nuggets, so much information. Hopefully you all wrote it down and you're ready to go because kickoff's only about 15 minutes away. I told you, there's my little man, Buddy, right here. The best behaved dog. He's always right next to me every single show. This is my guy. Buddy, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Yep, there you go. There you go.
Buddy.
Buddy says hello. Buddy says,
Buddy.
oh, my man. All right, there you go. There you go. All right, Jeweler, I need the full screen because we got to get out of here and get these bets placed. Oh, this looks absolutely fantastic. AB's on Joe Burrow, the over in his passing yards. The Maestro on our earlier show today, Tyler Boyd. All the guys love that. Then Trevor Lawrence, his play of the week for him squared, over 14.5 rushing yards. I've played it actually twice. I played it this morning. I banged it again just now. Prop Stars is on Marvin Jones and James Robinson. And as you know, he did his senior thesis on these two plays today as well. And then from SportsLine, we're going to go Jags and the Bengals. They're leaning to the over. Many of you are already members. You know that we do simulations 10,000 times. Our simulations lean to the over and lean to the Bengals. 33-23 tonight for that game from the simulation. So you see all of our plays. You've got about 15 minutes to get them in. Don't forget, Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern time, we've got our prop special, which is Alex's favorite show of the week. He can't wait. Like, he gets there like 20 minutes early. He just waits for us to show up because he's so damn excited. All right. I think everybody officially has a pet on the show now, which I freaking love it. I freaking love it. Now, there's only one thing left to do. There's only one thing left to do, and you know what that is. You know what that is. You've got your marching orders.
Whoa, Coach.
What?
I got to stop you. We hit 500 likes. We're giving away a free T-shirt.
Whoa! We did. I got so damn excited, Jeweler.
Check your text messages. I gave you a winner right in there.
Oh, my goodness. All right. I don't have a winner in mind, but I will say this, that when you guys hit the like button, then, it's you. See, you gave it in the group chat, not the personal one. That's why I didn't get it. All right, so here's the winner of the T-shirt. At Cobbs_Tony. At Cobbs_Tony, you have just won a T-shirt. Early Edge T-shirt. Well, I can tell you, they're brand new. Hardly anybody has them, so you'll be one of the very first ones. The jeweler will reach out to you. One thing that I always forget is that when you hit the like button, I need you to leave your Twitter handle in the comment section because that's the only way that we can put your name into the hat to pick you out. Otherwise, we don't have any other way of finding you. So always leave your Twitter handle so we have it to pick you out. All right. Now, jeweler, am I good to go? Am I good to go?
You're good to go.
Thank you, jeweler. Appreciate that. Clearly, everybody, you understand I don't really run the show. Jeweler runs the show. Now, let me reorganize myself. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these Thursday night football tickets straight to the pay window. For M Squared, for AB, for the Professor, Alex, Prop Stars, and the jeweler. We love doing it. We do it for you. See you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And best of luck tonight on Thursday Night Football. And tell your friends, the best daily sports betting show of record, there's only one. We like to call it the Early Edge. Good luck.
Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.